This story isn't just mine. It's for anyone who's felt used by family, who's given everything only to be left empty. If you've been the responsible one, the ATM, the fixer, and you're ready to break free, I'm here to tell you, you're not alone and you're stronger than you know. Share your story in the comments below. Have you set boundaries with family? What was the hardest part? Your words could inspire someone else to take that first step. Hit that like button if this resonated with you, and subscribe to join me on this journey. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter, where I'll share more about building a life on your terms. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe a friend stuck in the same cycle. Together, we can build a community that lifts each other up, where we value ourselves as much as we've been taught to value others. This isn't about revenge, it's... Picture this. I'm sitting in my parents' living room in Austin, Texas, surrounded by family who've decided my startup's a total bust. They've called an emergency meeting to save me from my dream, convinced I'm throwing my life away on a failing venture. My dad's pacing, my sister's taking notes, and the air's thick with judgment. I'm ready to defend my work, but it feels like I'm facing a firing squad. Then, out of nowhere, my mom's phone buzzes. A Wall Street Journal alert lights up the screen, and in one moment, everything flips upside down. This isn't just a family drama, it's a revenge story for the ages. I'm Sarah Thompson, 35, a Texas-born dreamer who walked away from a high-flying tech job to build something bigger. That something is HealthLink, an AI platform that connects rare disease patients to life-saving treatments. It's a mission born from seeing people struggle in a broken system. Folks like my childhood friend Emily, who fought for years to find answers. My family saw my choice as reckless, a betrayal of their expectations. But I saw a chance to change lives. This is the story of how I turned their doubt into a billion-dollar breakthrough that shook the world. Growing up on my family's ranch just outside Austin, I learned grit early, rounding up cattle, fixing fences under the Texas sun. That toughness carried me through MIT and into Silicon Valley. But in the tech world, grit wasn't enough. My parents, both high achievers, wanted me on a safe path. Corporate success, stability, bragging rights at their Austin country club. When I poured everything into HealthLink, they thought I was throwing my life away. "Sarah, why risk it all?" they'd ask. But I wasn't chasing their version of success. I was chasing impact, and I'd prove them wrong. Stick with me for a wild ride from failure to triumph. A story of proving the naysayers wrong when it mattered most. If you've ever been doubted, if your dream's been called crazy, hit that like button and let's dive in. This is for the underdogs, the visionaries, the ones who keep going. Drop your story in the comments. What dream are you chasing that others don't get? Let's build a community of dreamers and doers who know the sweetest revenge is success. I grew up in Austin's Westlake Hills, where success wasn't just a goal. It was the only option. My dad, Dr. Robert Harris, was a top cardiologist, saving lives at St. David's Medical Center. My mom, Dr. Elizabeth Harris, a UT Austin economics professor, could break down GDP trends like most folks talk about the weather. Our house ran like a boardroom, not a home. Family dinners were debates, GPAs, city scores, and career paths dissected over brisket and sweet tea. "Sarah, where are you applying for college?" Dad would ask, his eyes sharp, expecting Ivy League answers. Mom would chime in, "Stability matters, sweetheart." They weren't cruel, just relentless. Every milestone had to fit their blueprint. Prestigious degrees, corner offices, country club bragging rights. I felt the weight early. Anything less than perfect was failure. Even summer breaks meant math camps, not campfires. I remember at 12, I wanted to build a robot to help with chores on our family ranch. Dad laughed. "Focus on your grades, not toys." But I wasn't just dreaming of straight A's. I wanted to create something real, something that mattered. That clash of expectations shaped me. It taught me to push back, to carve my own path, even when their voices echoed louder than mine. My sister Laura, 38, was the golden child, the one who made it look easy. Top of her class at Yale Law, now a partner at a Houston firm. She was Dad's pride and Mom's proof that their formula worked. Laura followed the rules, aced every test, and built a life that screamed success. Big condo, fancy car, corner office. Me. I was the weird kid, always tinkering, always questioning. At 10, I pitched a drought-predicting app for Texas farmers, inspired by the cracked earth on our ranch during a brutal summer. I spent weeks sketching algorithms on notebook paper, dreaming of saving crops. Dad's response cut deep. "Stick to the rules, Sarah. Look at Laura's perfect volcano at the science fair." Laura's volcano erupted on cue. My app idea got a tight smile and a pat on the head. I wasn't jealous of Laura, she earned her wins, but the comparison stung. Every project I pitched, from solar-powered barn lights to a water-saving sprinkler, got the same refrain. "Why can't you be more like your sister?" It wasn't just family. Teachers and coaches echoed it too. But I kept tinkering, fueled by a stubborn spark to prove that different didn't mean wrong. In high school, I coded an app for local rodeo stats, thinking it'd help ranchers like my Uncle Tom track livestock sales. I spent nights in my room, hunched over my clunky Dell, teaching myself Python under the glow of a Longhorn's lamp. I imagined ranchers at the Fort Worth stock show using my app to make smarter deals. When I showed my family, they chuckled, calling it a cute hobby. Uncle Tom said, "Stick to something practical, kid." Mom suggested I focus on AP classes instead. That was my first real taste of being underestimated. Not just doubted, but dismissed. It hurt, but it also lit a fire. I started sneaking code into my school projects, blending tech with everything from history presentations to biology labs. My teachers noticed, but my family didn't. They saw Laura's debate team trophies and her path to law school as the gold standard. I wasn't trying to outshine her. I just wanted them to see me. That app, though it never launched, was my quiet rebellion, a sign I'd keep building no matter what they thought. I proved I could play by their rules, even if my heart wasn't in it. I graduated MIT with honors in computer science and biomedical engineering, a double major that left me sleepless but proud. My parents flew to Boston, beaming at my graduation, already picturing me at Google or Mayo Clinic. I landed a dream job at a Silicon Valley tech giant, working on healthcare algorithms. The pay was 6 figures, the benefits top tier, and Mom had a new line for her Austin Country Club friends. "Sarah's building healthcare algorithms." They'd nod, impressed, picturing me climbing the corporate ladder. But I was miserable. The work felt like a hamster wheel. Polished, predictable, but hollow. I'd sit in meetings, watching execs prioritize profits over patience, and think, this isn't why I studied code. My algorithms helped, sure, but they were cogs in a machine that didn't care about the people I wanted to help. I'd drive home to my Palo Alto apartment, staring at the stars, feeling like I was betraying that kid who dreamed of drought apps and rodeo stats. I was winning their game, but losing mine. I felt trapped in someone else's definition of success, a shiny cage built by my parents' expectations. Deep down, I knew I was meant for something bigger, something that could change lives, not just pad resumes. At night, I'd lie awake, replaying stories of patients like my friend Emily, who'd spent years chasing treatments for her rare condition. The healthcare system was a maze, failing people who needed it most. I saw a way to fix it, not with corporate tweaks, but with bold tech AI that could match patients to specialists and trials in days, not years. But that meant leaving my job, my safety net, and facing my family's disapproval. They'd call it reckless, a waste of my MIT degree. Yet, every time I thought of quitting, I'd remember that drought app, that rodeo code, and the kid who didn't care about their rules. I wasn't chasing their version of success anymore. I was chasing impact, real, messy, life-changing impact. That's when I knew I had to build HealthLink, no matter the cost. At my tech job in Silicon Valley, I saw the healthcare system's ugly truth up close. Patients with rare diseases lost in a maze of red tape, desperation, and dead ends. One case hit me like a punch to the gut. A Texas mom from San Antonio, calling our support line. Her voice cracking as she described years spent searching for a specialist for her son's rare neurological condition. She'd been shuffled between doctors, dismissed by insurance, and told to just wait while her kid suffered. I'd listened to her pleas, staring at my computer screen, knowing our algorithms could do better. They weren't just numbers, they were people's lives. I thought, this is fixable with tech. Why were we building apps for convenience stores and social media when we could save someone's child? I started digging into the problem after hours, sketching out an AI system that could match patients to specialists in clinical trials in days, not years. My cubicle became a war room, coffee cups piling up, sticky notes everywhere. I'd stay late, poring over medical databases, mapping out how to cut through the bureaucracy. My boss noticed, said I was overcomplicating things. But I saw it clearly. A platform that could give hope to families like that Texas mom's. It wasn't just a project, it was a calling. I'd grown up on a ranch outside Austin, fixing problems with whatever tools I had. This was my new fence to mend, my new herd to round up. I wasn't going to let those patients down. My childhood friend Emily, from Dallas, was the spark that wouldn't let me look away. Growing up, I watched her battle a rare autoimmune condition that baffled doctors. We'd spend summers together, sneaking into her dad's garage to tinker with old radios, laughing despite her pain. She'd miss school for weeks, stuck in hospital beds while specialists shrugged. Her mom would drive her across Texas, Dallas to Houston, even San Antonio, chasing answers that never came. Emily's courage stuck with me, like dust on my boots from our ranch. By high school, I was coding apps to solve small problems, but her struggle was the big one I couldn't shake. Years later, at my tech job, I saw her story in every patient's file. I'd call her sometimes, hearing her voice weaken but her spirit stay fierce. "Sarah, you're gonna fix this for someone," she'd say. I knew I had to act, not just for her but for every family stuck in that same broken system. Emily's fight became my fuel, pushing me to dream bigger than a corner office or a fat paycheck. So I quit my job, walked away from 6 figures, stock options, and Silicon Valley's shiny promises to start HealthLink, an AI platform to match rare disease patients with the right specialists and trials. My co-founder, Mia Carter, a brilliant coder from Austin's tech scene, was all in from day one. We met at a hackathon on 6th Street, bonding over bad coffee and a shared obsession with using tech for good. Mia had a fire like mine. She'd grown up in East Austin, scraping by, coding her way out of tough times. We rented a tiny office near Zilker Park, barely bigger than a closet, with creaky floors and a view of food trucks. We worked 18-hour days, fueled by tacos and ambition. Our algorithm was our baby. Line by line, we built a system to cut through medical chaos. Every test run felt like a step toward saving someone's life. We'd high-five at 3 a.m. when a new feature worked, then crash on a futon in the corner. Austin's energy, its weird, scrappy vibe, kept us going. We weren't just building a startup. We were building hope for families like that San Antonio mom's, for kids like Emily. It was us against the world, and we were ready to fight. My family, though, they weren't on board. Mom was cautious, her voice soft but firm over Sunday dinner. "Sarah, you're smart, but have a backup plan. Startups fail." Dad was blunter, his cardiologist logic cutting like a scalpel. "Healthcare's too complex for a startup, Sarah. You're out of your depth." My sister Laura, already a partner at her Houston law firm, raised an eyebrow and asked, "Does it offer a 401k? I mean, really, Sarah?" Their words stung, echoing those high school days when they called my rodeo app a cute hobby. My ex James was no better. He loved the idea of dating an entrepreneur girlfriend at first, showing me off at Austin cocktail parties like a trophy. "My girl's the next big thing," he'd brag. But when the late nights piled up and the bank account dwindled, his support faded. "I thought this would be glamorous," he said once, half joking, half cold. Their doubt was loud, but I tuned it out. I wasn't building HealthLink for them. I was building it for the patients who had no one else. Those first months were electric, like Austin's skyline at night, full of possibility. Mia and I coded until our eyes burned, testing algorithms that could match a patient to a trial with pinpoint accuracy. Every breakthrough felt like a lightning strike. One night, we got our first successful match, a patient with a rare blood disorder linked to a trial in Houston. We danced around our tiny office, blasting Willie Nelson, knowing we were one step closer to saving lives. We'd meet with doctors at Austin coffee shops, scribbling ideas on napkins, refining our platform to be faster, smarter, better. The setbacks were brutal. Bugs that crashed our system, investors who ghosted us, but every win fueled us. We weren't just chasing a paycheck, we were chasing impact. I'd think of Emily, of that Texas mom, of every family stuck in the system's cracks. Each line of code was a promise to them. We dreamed big, and in that Zilker Park office under Austin's starry sky, it felt like we could change the world. Year one of HealthLink was tough, but we expected it. Startups are a grind. Mia and I knew the road would be rough, coding in our Zilker Park office, surviving on coffee and stubborn hope. But year two, brutal doesn't even cover it. 2 major funding rounds fell through at the last second. We'd spent months pitching to investors in Austin, Dallas, even Silicon Valley, painting a vision of AI that could save lives. They'd nod, smile, promise follow-ups, then ghost us. One venture capitalist emailed, "Great idea, but too risky." Risky. Tell that to the patients waiting years for answers. Then our server crashed. 3 days of chaos that tanked a partnership with a Dallas hospital. We'd been so close to proving our platform could scale, and poof, it was gone. Regulations were a nightmare, too. Every step forward meant wading through a swamp of FDA rules and compliance forms. I'd stay up until dawn, deciphering legal jargon, while Mia debugged code that kept breaking under the strain. Our bank account was bleeding, and we were down to 5 employees, all working for passion, not paychecks. I'd grown up fixing fences on our Austin ranch, but this felt like patching a sinking ship with duct tape. Doubt crept in. Maybe my family was right. Maybe I was out of my depth, chasing a dream too big for me. But then I'd think of Emily, my childhood friend, and the patients we'd promised to help. Quitting wasn't an option, not when lives were on the line. I'd stare at Austin's skyline at night, whispering to myself, "Keep going, Sarah. You're not done yet." The personal toll hit harder than the business setbacks. My boyfriend, James, bailed 6 months into year 2. His voice cold over dinner at an Austin taco joint. "I need someone stable, Sarah. This startup life isn't what I signed up for." He'd loved the idea of me as an entrepreneur, bragging at parties about his future tech mogul girlfriend, but when the glamour faded, so did he. Family dinners at my parents' Westlake Hills home turned into interrogations. Dad, ever the cardiologist, would lean back and ask, "What's your burn rate, Sarah? How long can you keep this up?" His tone wasn't cruel, just clinical, like he was diagnosing a terminal case. Aunt Linda, visiting from Houston, chimed in over pecan pie. "Mass General's hiring, Sarah. Great benefits, stable hours." I'd grit my teeth, explaining for the 100th time that HealthLink was about saving lives, not chasing stability. Mom would stay quiet, her eyes worried, while Laura, my sister, recounted her latest law firm win, a $5 million settlement. The comparison was unspoken but deafening. Laura's climbing, you're sinking. I'd drive back to our tiny office, the Austin skyline blurring through tears, wondering if I was the fool they thought I was. James's words echoed. Stable. My family's doubt stung worse than any investor's rejection, but I kept coding, kept fighting, because giving up meant betraying the patients who needed us. Then came the Dallas hospital job offer, A lifeline I didn't want. Great pay, full benefits, a chance to work in their innovation lab. It arrived after a brutal family dinner where Laura bragged about her new Houston condo, bought with her partner bonus. Dad toasted her success, his eyes avoiding mine while Mom murmured, "We're so proud, Laura." I sat there, pushing brisket around my plate, feeling like the family failure. The offer letter sat on my desk for days, promising the stability James wanted, the approval my parents craved. I almost took it, picturing a life without the stress, the doubt, the empty bank account. But then a letter arrived. Not an email, but handwritten, from a patient's mom we'd helped in our beta test. She wrote, "Your platform gave us hope when we had none. Thank you." Her words hit like a Texas thunderstorm, washing away my doubt. I tore up the job offer, my hands shaking with resolve. I wasn't building HealthLink for my family or James. I was building it for her, for Emily, for every patient we'd promised to help. That letter was my anchor, reminding me why I started. Despite the chaos, we had glimmers of hope. Our algorithm hit a breakthrough. 37% better matching accuracy, a leap that made our platform smarter than anything on the market. In our Dallas pilot program, we connected Sophie, an 8-year-old with a rare muscular disorder, to a clinical trial that changed her life. Her mom sent us a video. Sophie laughing, running for the first time in years. Mia and I watched it on loop in our office, tears streaming, knowing we'd made a difference. That pilot proved HealthLink worked. Doctors were amazed, patients were hopeful. But the money was running out fast. We'd burned through our seed funding, and with no new investors, we were weeks from shutting down. I'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, calculating how long we could last. Sophie's smile kept me going, but the math didn't lie. Our dream was on life support. I'd walk Austin's Lady Bird Lake Trail, whispering to myself, "Just one more win, Sarah. One more." We were so close, but the world wasn't ready to bet on us. My family's voices echoed, "Cut your losses." I wasn't ready to listen, not yet. Then Mom texted, her words like a punch. "Emergency family meeting, Saturday, 4 p.m. We need to talk." I knew what it meant. They wanted me to quit, to admit defeat, to crawl back to their version of success. My stomach sank as I read it, standing alone in our Zilker Park office, the hum of our overworked server in the background. I'd faced their doubt before, but this felt final, a verdict on my dream. I wasn't ready to surrender, but the weight of it all was crushing me. I pulled into my parents' Westlake Hills driveway, my heart pounding like a Texas thunderstorm. 5 extra cars were parked out front. Uncle Tom's shiny Cadillac, Aunt Linda's SUV, Laura's sleek BMW, and a couple I didn't recognize. This wasn't a meeting. It was an ambush. The Austin sun was setting, casting long shadows over their sprawling ranch-style home, but the real storm was waiting inside. I gripped my steering wheel, replaying Mom's text. "Emergency family meeting, Saturday, 4 p.m. I knew what they wanted. To convince me to quit HealthLink, to admit my startup was a failure. My hands shook as I cut the engine. 2 years of setbacks, failed funding rounds, a crashed server, a dwindling bank account had brought me here. I'd grown up in this house, under their rules, always the odd one out with my big dreams. Now they thought they could save me like I was some lost calf. But I wasn't that kid anymore. I'd built something real, something that helped kids like Sophie, even if they couldn't see it. I stepped out, boots crunching on the gravel, and squared my shoulders. Whatever they threw at me, I'd fight back. This wasn't just about my startup. It was about proving I wasn't the failure they feared I'd become. Dad stood by the fireplace like a judge in his own courtroom, his cardiologist's calm masking a steel edge. The living room was packed. Mom on the couch, Laura with a notepad, Uncle Tom in his cowboy hat, Aunt Linda sipping iced tea, even a family friend, Mark, a financial advisor, looking grim. "Sarah," Dad began, his voice heavy, "we're worried you're wasting your life." The words landed like a gavel. He leaned forward, hands clasped. HealthLink's been bleeding money for 2 years. It's time to face reality. Uncle Tom, who'd made millions in Houston oil, jumped in, his drawl sharp. Your burn rate's unsustainable, darlin'. You're burnin' cash faster than a wildfire. Laura, ever the lawyer, flipped her notepad and pitched tech jobs like she was closing a deal. Google's hiring in Austin, Sarah. Or Dell. Stable roles, great benefits. I fought back, my voice rising. This isn't about money. It's about kids like Sophie, families who need hope. But they kept coming. Aunt Linda sighed. You're 35, Sarah. When do you settle down? Mark handed me a spreadsheet. Projected losses circled in red. I pushed it away, my chest tight. You don't get HealthLink, I said. It's not a hobby, it's saving lives. Dad shook his head. You're throwing away your MIT degree. I'd faced their doubt before, but this felt like a trial. Growing up, I'd been the weird kid with drought apps and rodeo code, always compared to Laura's perfect path. Now they wanted me to fit their mold again. But I thought of Emily, my friend who'd fought her rare disease, and Sophie, running again because of us. I wasn't giving up, no matter how hard they pushed. I snapped when Dad crossed the line. He leaned back, arms crossed, and said, Laura's a partner at her firm, Sarah. She's built a real career. You're just playing startup. The room blurred, my blood roaring. Playing startup. I'd poured my soul into HealthLink. 18-hour days, sleepless nights, every dime I had. I stood, my voice shaking with fury. You don't get it, Dad. This could save lives. The words echoed, raw and unfiltered. The room went silent, every eye on me. Laura froze, her pen midair. Uncle Tom shifted uncomfortably. His hat suddenly too big. Mom's face softened, but she didn't speak. I kept going, my voice cracking. I'm not Laura, and I don't want to be. HealthLink's real. It's helping kids like Sophie, people like Emily, who you'll never meet but whose lives matter. I was trembling, years of being underestimated pouring out. Growing up, I'd swallowed their comparisons, their tight smiles at my cute projects. Not anymore. I'd built something bigger than their expectations, even if it was bleeding money. For a moment, I thought I'd reached them. But Dad's jaw tightened, ready to counter, and I braced for another round. This wasn't just a family fight. It was me defending my life's work, my reason for getting up every morning. I wasn't backing down. Then Mom's phone buzzed, cutting through the silence like a siren. She glanced at it, frowned, and tapped the screen. Her eyes widened, and she read aloud, her voice unsteady. Healthcare startup HealthLink valued at $1 billion in acquisition talks with PharmaCorp Global. Jaws dropped. Uncle Tom's iced tea slipped from his hand, splashing the hardwood. Laura's notepad hit the floor. Dad's arms fell to his sides. His judge's mask gone. I grabbed the phone, stunned, my heart racing. The Wall Street Journal's headline glowed. PharmaCorp eyes $1 billion deal for AI healthcare innovator. HealthLink, my failed startup, was worth $1 billion. I read it again, disbelieving. 2 years of rejections, crashes, and doubt, and now this. I looked up, meeting Dad's eyes, then Laura's, then Mom's. No one spoke. The room felt electric, like Austin's air before a storm. I'd walked in ready to defend my dream, expecting a fight. Instead, the world had shifted under our feet. This wasn't just validation. It was the sweetest revenge, not through spite, but through proving what I'd known all along. HealthLink was worth fighting for, and I'd never been the failure they feared. My hands were still shaking as I read the Wall Street Journal headline again. Healthcare startup HealthLink valued at $1 billion in acquisition talks with PharmaCorp Global. $1 billion. Our little startup, born in a cramped Zilker Park office, was making waves I never imagined. The article said PharmaCorp wanted HealthLink for our 95% accurate algorithm, a system Mia and I had bled for, line by line, through sleepless nights and endless setbacks. That algorithm wasn't just code. It was hope for patients like Sophie, like my friend Emily, stuck in a broken healthcare maze. I stood in my parents' Westlake Hills living room, their stunned faces fading into the background, and dialed Mia. She picked up on the first ring, her voice groggy from another all-nighter. "Mia, you won't believe this," I said, my words tumbling out. I read her the headline and she screamed, "They're serious, Sarah. Holy crap, we did it." Her excitement crackled through the phone, pulling me out of my daze. We laughed, half crying, the weight of 2 years, failed funding rounds, server crashes, family doubt, lifting for a moment. I could picture her in our Austin office, fist pumping under that flickering fluorescent light. But reality hit fast. A billion-dollar headline didn't mean a done deal. PharmaCorp was circling, and we had to move quick to protect what we'd built. I told Mia, "Get to the office. We're not losing this." I hung up, my family still silent, their judgment replaced by shock. Growing up, I'd been the kid they underestimated, the one with cute apps and big dreams. Now the world saw what they couldn't. This wasn't just validation. It was the start of something bigger. The night before, we'd had no clue PharmaCorp was watching. Mia and I were holed up in our Austin office, refining the algorithm under a neon "Keep Austin Weird" sign that buzzed like our overworked server. It was 2 a.m., tacos cold on the desk, our eyes burning from staring at code. We were chasing a bug that was tanking our matching accuracy, and Mia was cursing like a sailor. "This thing's gonna kill me, Sarah," she groaned, but her fingers never stopped typing. I laughed, tossing her another Red Bull. "We're saving lives, Mia. No pressure." That night we cracked it. A tweak that pushed our accuracy to 95%, a number that felt like magic. We high-fived, blasting Stevie Ray Vaughan to celebrate, unaware that PharmaCorp scouts had been testing our platform, tracking our Dallas pilot, marveling at Sophie's trial match. That neon sign, Austin's quirky heartbeat, was our backdrop as we built something world-changing without knowing the world was watching. Those late nights, fueled by grit and tacos, were why we were here now, on the cusp of a billion-dollar deal. I rushed to our office near 6th Street, Austin's nightlife pulsing outside as I pushed through the door. Mia was already there, hair wild, laptop open. Our lawyer, David, a sharp Austin native who'd bet on us early, joined us, his tie loose from a red-eye flight. We dove into the Wall Street Journal article, piecing together the bombshell. PharmaCorp had leaked the $1 billion valuation to boost their leverage in talks. It was a power play, but it meant they wanted us bad. David pulled up their offer. $9.50 to buy HealthLink outright, lock, stock, and barrel. My stomach flipped. That money could change everything. Pay off debts, secure our team, make us legends. But it also meant giving up control, letting a corporate giant swallow our mission. Mia's eyes met mine, fierce. "We didn't build this to cash out, Sarah." David nodded, laying out risks. PharmaCorp could shelve our tech or prioritize profits over patience. I thought of Sophie, running again, and Emily, fighting her disease. Selling out wasn't an option. We strategized fast, mapping out a counteroffer on a whiteboard, Austin's skyline glowing through the window. This wasn't just a deal, it was a fight to keep our dream alive. 2 years of doubt had led to this, and we weren't backing down. Dad was still reeling when I got home, the Wall Street Journal article open on his tablet. His cardiologist's calm shattered. He looked at me, eyes soft for the first time in years. "Sarah, I didn't see this coming." Before I could respond, Laura showed up at my apartment with a bag of Tex-Mex takeout, brisket tacos, her peace offering. My sister, the golden child, sat across from me, her lawyer's polish gone. "I was wrong, sis," she said, voice low. "I thought you were chasing a pipe dream. But this, it's real. Let's protect your vision." Blinked, stunned. Laura, who'd pitched Google jobs at the intervention, was offering to help. She suggested a licensing deal, Let PharmaCorp use our tech for $500 million but keep HealthLink independent. It was a lawyer's move, but it felt right. We ate tacos, brainstorming on my coffee table. Her Houston condo stories replaced by talk of contracts. Dad called later, his voice quieter. "I'm proud, Sarah." Their doubt had hurt, but their support now meant more. This wasn't revenge. It was redemption, proving my dream was worth their faith. We rejected PharmaCorp's $950 million buyout, choosing a $500 million licensing deal instead. It gave us the funds to grow while keeping control. Our mission, our way. Mia and I signed the papers in our 6th Street office, David grinning like a proud dad. I thought of Sophie, whose trial changed her life, and Emily, whose struggle inspired it all. This wasn't about the money. It was about thousands like them, patients we'd promised to help. 2 years of doubt, from my family's intervention to James's exit, had led to this moment. We'd built HealthLink for impact, and now we'd keep fighting for it. 3 months after the Wall Street Journal dropped that billion-dollar bombshell, HealthLink was a different beast. We moved out of our cramped Zilker Park office into a sleek downtown Austin high-rise, with floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city's skyline. Our team grew from a scrappy 5 to 50. Coders, doctors, patient advocates, all buzzing with purpose. We were matching over 5,000 patients globally to specialists and trials, from rural Texas towns to villages in Kenya. Every match felt like a promise kept, a life given a fighting chance. I'd walk through our new office, past whiteboards scribbled with algorithms and photos of patients like Sophie, and feel a quiet pride. This was what I dreamed of as a kid on our family ranch, tinkering with drought apps and rodeo stats, despite my family's tight smiles. The $500 million licensing deal with PharmaCorp gave us the fuel to scale, but it was our mission that drove us. We weren't just a startup anymore, we were a movement. Investors who'd ghosted us 2 years ago were now begging for meetings. I'd sip coffee at Joe's on South Congress, reading emails from hospital CEOs, and think, we made it. But it wasn't about the money or the hype. It was about the patients. People like Emily, my childhood friend, whose struggle inspired HealthLink. My family's doubt, their emergency meeting, felt like a distant memory. I proved them wrong, not with spite but with impact. Austin's vibrant tech scene, with its food trucks and neon signs, was our home, and we were changing the world from right here. One story hit me hardest. Maria, a 10-year-old from Houston with a rare heart condition. Her mom reached out to HealthLink, desperate after years of dead-end diagnoses. Our algorithm matched Maria to a cutting-edge trial in Boston within days. 6 weeks later, her mom sent us a video. Maria, giggling, riding her bike for the first time, her cheeks pink with life. Watching it in our Austin office, I got chills, tears welling up. Mia, my co-founder, stood beside me, whispering, "This is why we do this." Maria's mom said in the video, "You gave us our daughter back." That hit deeper than any billion-dollar headline. Growing up, I'd been the kid my family underestimated, laughed off as cute for coding apps. Now we were saving kids like Maria. Her story wasn't just a win. It was proof that HealthLink was bigger than us, bigger than Austin, bigger than any doubt we'd faced. That video became our team's North Star, a reminder of the stakes every time we hit a wall. My life changed too. I bought a condo on Rainey Street, a stone's throw from Austin's buzzing nightlife, with a balcony overlooking Lady Bird Lake. After years of scraping by, it felt surreal to have a place of my own, a space to breathe. Mia, ever the heart of our team, paid off her parents' Houston mortgage, a quiet gift to the family who'd supported her through lean years. She'd grown up in East Austin, coding to escape hardship, and now she was giving back. Family dinners at my parents' Westlake Hills home were different now. No more interrogations about burn rates or job offers. Dad, once skeptical, asked about EU regulations for our expansion. His cardiologist's precision turned to curiosity. Mom smiled more, her worry lines softer. Laura, my sister, swapped her lawyerly critiques for stories of helping us with contracts. We'd laugh over brisket, talking about HealthLink's next steps like it was the family business. The intervention, their doubt. It was gone, replaced by a pride I'd never seen. I'd spent years chasing their approval, but now I had something better. Their respect. Austin's skyline sparkled outside, a reminder of how far we'd come from that emergency meeting. I wanted to pay it forward, so I launched a mentorship program at South by Southwest for Texas women in tech. Standing on that Austin stage, surrounded by dreamers, I shared my story. The failures, the doubts, the billion-dollar turning point. I saw myself in those women, their eyes hungry for a chance to prove themselves. Helping them avoid my early struggles, like navigating investor rejections or family skepticism, felt right. We'd meet at Austin coffee shops, swapping ideas over lattes, building a community of grit and vision. SuccessW's energy, its mix of tech and Texas soul, made it the perfect place to lift others up. This wasn't just about HealthLink. It was about ensuring the next Sarah wouldn't face the same walls. My family's intervention had pushed me to fight harder, and now I was helping others do the same. This wasn't just about money, though the $500 million deal was life-changing. It was about lives changed. Maria's bike rides, Sophie's laughter, Emily's hope. Success isn't what others expect, not the corner office or country club bragging rights my parents once wanted. It's what you know matters deep in your bones. HealthLink started as a kid's dream on an Austin ranch, dismissed as cute by a family who didn't see it. Now, it's a global force, proof that the sweetest revenge isn't settling scores. It's building something that outlives the doubt. I'd look out at Austin's skyline from my condo, knowing we'd done that, and we weren't stopping. 3 years ago, I was the family failure, sitting in my parents' Westlake Hills living room, facing their emergency meeting to save me from my dream. They saw HealthLink as a sinking ship, a waste of my MIT degree. I was the kid they'd always underestimated, the one with cute apps and big ideas they didn't get. Now, HealthLink's saving lives from Austin to Amsterdam, matching thousands of patients to hope. Kids like Sophie, families like Maria's. It wasn't easy. 2 years of brutal setbacks, server crashes, and family doubt nearly broke me. But every sleepless night in our Zilker Park office, every line of code Mia and I wrote, was worth it. That Wall Street Journal headline, $1 billion valuation, wasn't the win. The real win was seeing Maria ride her bike, hearing Sophie's laugh. I'd grown up on our Austin ranch, learning to fix what's broken with grit and heart. HealthLink was my biggest fix yet, proof that dreams dismissed as cute can change the world. My family's intervention pushed me to fight harder, and their pride now means more than their doubt ever did. This isn't about revenge. It's about proving what's possible when you believe in something bigger than yourself. Austin's skyline, glowing outside my Rainy Street condo, reminds me every day. We did it, and we're just getting started. To my Texas folks, whether you're in the hustle of Dallas, the heart of Houston, or a small town like Lubbock, your dream matters. I know what it's like to feel like no one gets it. Growing up, my family laughed off my rodeo app, my drought-predicting code, urging me to follow my sister Laura's stable path. Even in Austin's tech scene, investors doubted HealthLink's vision. But Texas taught me grit, rounding up cattle on our ranch, pushing through dust storms to get the job done. Your dream might be a startup, a song, a classroom you want to change. Keep pushing even when the world says it's crazy. Find your Mia, your co-founder who'll fight beside you. Ignore the naysayers like I ignored my family's intervention. Every patient HealthLink helped, Emily, Sophie, Maria, was worth the fight. Your dream's worth it too. Texas is big enough for big dreams, and so are you. So grab a coffee at Joe's, stare at that wide-open sky, and keep going. The breakthrough's closer than you think, and I'm rooting for you. What's your HealthLink? That dream others don't see. the one they call risky or foolish. Maybe it's a business, a book, a cause you're burning to fight for. I was the kid whose family saw failure, but I built something that saved lives. You've got a spark like that too. Share it below. Drop your story in the comments. Let's build a community of dreamers and doers who lift each other up, who know that the best revenge is proving the doubters wrong by doing what matters. I read every comment, and I can't wait to hear what drives you. Together we can inspire each other like Austin's tech scene inspired me, like Sophie's smile kept me going. Your dream's not just yours. It's part of something bigger. So, tell me, what's the vision you're fighting for? Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe it's a friend in Dallas chasing a startup, a cousin in Lubbock with a big idea, or someone who's been told to quit. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come when everyone else gives up. HealthLink started as a kid's dream on a Texas ranch, dismissed by my family's emergency meeting. Now it's a global force because I kept going. Your story could be next. Hit that like button to join our community. Subscribe for more stories of grit and triumph. And share this to spark someone else's fight. Thanks for watching, for believing in the underdogs. I'll see you in the next one, ready to cheer on your dreams.